Today on Locked On Rockies, we're told the Colorado Rockies are a draft and develop team. Well, where are the results?
You are Locked On Rockies, your daily Colorado Rockies podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Rock on Rockies fans, welcome into the Locked On Rockies podcast for today, the 14th day of January in the year 2025. I'm your host of the Locked On Rockies podcast, Paul Holden, bringing you your daily Colorado Rockies talk right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where you can find your team every day. And if your team is the Colorado Rockies, well, guess what? You're in the right spot because that's what we do around here, talking Rockies baseball, free and streaming on your favorite streaming services and on the Locked On Rockies YouTube channel, where you can be part of the show. You can fire off your Rockies hot takes. You can let me know what's on your mind when it comes to the Colorado Rockies. Best way to interact with the show, heading on over there to the Locked On Rockies YouTube channel. Today on Locked On Rockies, we're going to be talking about drafting and developing the identity of the Colorado Rockies. And why are we talking about this? Well, we've mentioned this before, and Purple Road did a big deep dive into actually looking into recent drafts, recent players, where have they ended up, how has the development gone, which leads us to the question of, can we call the Rockies a draft and develop team? While they might think that, are they successful at it? That's the big theme of today's episode. We'll also get an update on Sasaki coming up here at the end of the show as well, so don't miss out on that. Before we dive into all the fun today, got to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. From big upsets to game-winning drives, the NFL playoffs are better with FanDuel. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed win or lose. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. And we get started by heading over to purplerow.com. Evan Lang, and I believe Skylar Timmons did a lot of work on this. This is a combo pack here, I think, but you need to go read this piece. We are not going to get over all of the numbers. And actually, you know what's interesting? We had a commenter a few weeks ago talk about the draft and develop issues with this team. And so it is an interesting spot where the Rockies themselves, they claim these things, right? They mention these things. But it just goes back to kind of my deep-seated thing of the Rockies fans pay attention. I mean, it is really, really, really frustrating that the Rockies say these things, right? Or say there's multiple examples of this stuff. And the way, and maybe it's just me and the way I perceive this, but it just, the stuff that we get told just makes it feel like they treat us like we're not watching, like we're not paying attention, like they can just fly under the radar of being a bad team or a smaller market team or XYZ, and think that Rockies fans aren't paying attention. And that's the furthest thing from the case. Legit Rockies fans, people that care about this team, people that invest in this team, understand where the team is at. Understand that draft and development is supposed to be the philosophy and blah, blah, blah. But yet, where is the fruits of the labor? Where are the big payouts? Where are these high draft picks that the Rockies have been getting? You know, the lottery is one thing, but still top 10 draft picks that the Rockies are getting. Where are they? Well, let's take a dive. You know, we don't have to just ask that question. Purple Row looked into that. Because remember, this goes back to a tweet from Brooks Gate, and we talked about this on the show. The Rockies have, over the last 10 seasons, have the lowest WAR by draft picks over the last 10 years. It is the only players from the last 10 drafts are on this list. Every other team in Major League Baseball has at least gotten 20 WAR out of their draft picks from the draft picks from the last 10 years. The Colorado Rockies are dead last at 9.8. So that's just one thing. Now let's go and actually let's look at some of these numbers. Let's look at the fact that Brendan Rodgers not on the team anymore. Career WAR of 2.8. Tyler Nevin, he did debut, but didn't debut for the Rockies. Career WAR of negative 1.4. Justin Lawrence is just at a 1. Sam Hilliard 1.5. I mean, those are guys from the 2015 draft, and Lawrence and Hilliard later in the draft. So obviously a different thing there. Peter Lambert 0.3 after being in the pick in the second round. Riley Pint, we know what's happened with Riley Pint. We Garrett Hampson no longer on the team there in the third round pick. Ben Bowden, what do we have there for these Rockies? I mean, then you can see a bunch of lists of these players that didn't necessarily make their debut, but we haven't. There's only two Rockies players drafted since 2016 that have produced over 3 WAR seasons. And it's Ryan Feltner, who was a 4th round pick, by the way, in the 2017 in the 2017 draft here. Ryan Vialde might be there, Tommy Doyle, Lucas Gilbreth. I mean, and we're in Doyle and not Brenton Doyle, but Tommy Doyle and Ryan there. They were the second and both of the second round picks. Where are they? Alan, and so Ryan Feltner's one with the high one, and then Brenton Doyle, 4.3. The rest, we haven't really seen the range. So here's what's super helpful about this chart too. And you can just scroll through and see the amount of names that we're either still waiting on or we've seen a couple times and the jury's still out. Whatever you want to point at. I'm just saying, if you're going to call yourself a draft and develop team, then you need to be better than what this is. 9.5. 9.5 for nearly a decade of drafting. That is a development issue. And it's a big one. I mean, there's no other argument to be made there. You sit here and you say you're draft and develop. Oh, hey, Brenton Doyle, look at him. Look at him right there, Brenton Doyle. Okay, well, what about everyone else in between? Ryan Feltner, hey, we're seeing some promise. What about every other pitcher that you've grabbed? What about every other player that's in the system? What about all these players that need more development and playing time, yet you block them with veterans? You call them up and you don't play them at all. Go look at these numbers, folks, on Purple Row. Go look at them, and then you'll see that it's not just overreaction. It's not just sitting here and being like, you're being too hard on them or whatever. No, this is a problem. If you're not going to spend money in free agency, if you're going to only continue to turtle, only within my organization, only within my people, we got it handled. We're draft and develop. We're on the right track. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Well, we got it. Hey, look at these couple of guys. Where is the development? And why is it so far behind the rest of baseball? And again, folks, this is worse than the White Sox. This is worse than the Athletics. This is worse than every team in baseball by a long shot. You know what? If you actually doubled the career, all of the WAR of these draft picks, if you double it, you know where that gets you? Just below, actually, let me see if I'm doing just below the White Sox in last place. Still, you can double the performance. You can double the amount of WAR from these players, and the Rockies will still be in the will still be the worst team in baseball over the past decade at developing their talent, their drafted talent. And yet I'm supposed to just sit here and fully buy into this team being able to rebound and fully buy into this team doing stuff this year that makes things different. Fully buy into whatever. No. So again, this is my plea again to the Rockies fans that know that are paying attention, that are watching there, that are saying the Rockies haven't drafted enough to keep pace with these teams. The Rockies aren't on the same level. The Rockies aren't able to develop the way that these other teams develop. And I'm talking about every other team in baseball. So in reality, how bright is the future going to be? And now, mind you, Bill Schmidt's been around for a few seasons of this. Now, Bill Schmidt has been involved with this process since the end of 2020. And so he does not get to just be off the hook here. And I know that we pull, and Purple Road did this. We're pulling quotes from a bit ago. But just listen to this stuff. Listen to the things that they said. 2021, the new general manager, Bill Schmidt, after being handed the keys to the front office. We're the Colorado Rockies. We scout, we draft, and we develop. We're not the Dodgers. Okay, so let's just go and look at since 2021 who they've drafted. And I know that's a small sample size, right? Small sample size, right? 2021 draft was impacted that year, of course. It was a weird year, 2021 there, with all this stuff. Lucas Gilbreth, okay, sure, he's still out. Sean Bouchard, all right, we'll see. This was in the 2022 draft, I guess. Alan Trejo also goes in that. But again, Alan Trejo, not on the team, never really panned out, never really gave him a lot of time, a lot of opportunities at the major league level. Taran Vavra, never heard of that guy. Where is he? Ryan Feltner, all right, there's your ace in the hole right there. 4th round pick there in 2021. Jake Bird, all right, well, at least still jury's out. Coco Montez. Didn't Coco Montez leave, then come back and is now back? Oh, man, remember, this is a guy named Kumar Rocker that the Rockies missed out on. Weren't able to get a deal done there. And now I'm looking at here again, and I'm like, all right, so I'm starting to see some names I recognize. Michael Tolia, Aaron Schunk, Brenton Doyle, Carl Kaufman, and Gavin Hollowell, Drew Romo, Jaden Hill, Hunter Goodman. All right, great. But what I'm seeing still, though, when I see these names is, how much playing time is Jordan Beck going to get this year? How much playing time is Isaac Collins going to get if he's even still in the organization? How much time is Hunter Goodman going to get this year? I don't believe that the Rockies are going to, if they really are going to want to see from these young guys, and they're already a young team, they're already turned into a lot of young guys. I will give credit when credit's due. But when you're faced with that decision on who should you go with, the Rockies are going to take the side of the vet. The Rockies will play Jake Cave over you, Sean Bouchard. And I understand the injuries, but in the context there, but I'm just giving an example. The savvy vet is going to get the playing time over the youngster for the Rockies more often than not. Ezekiel Tovar might have changed the idea a little bit, but I still am not sitting here in this season thinking, I think the Rockies are going to fully give the young guys a chance, fully embrace being in the situation that they're in right now when it comes to win-loss record and standings, and actually really get these guys, working on. And I'm not sitting here overly confident in their abilities to develop these guys into big league players, impactful big league players. And so this is going to set me up for segment number 2. Stop telling me, actually, in fact, talk to me more, but prove it. How many times have I said that over the past few weeks? This Purple Row article, this highlight of the struggles of the draft and development show how much of a prove-it year 2025 is, and I'll explain why coming up next on today's episode of Locked On Rockies. Before we do that, though, got to tell you about the folks that help make this show possible, and that includes FanDuel. FanDuel's got you covered throughout the NFL playoffs. From big upsets to game-winning drives, the NFL playoffs are better with FanDuel, because right now new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. The FanDuel app gives you everything you need for live bets, same-game parlays, and so much more. Maybe you're thinking, I'm going to go a little crazy and I'm going to bet on the Texans to upset the Chiefs with the plus money line. Or maybe you want to build a big-time mixed parlay of both Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen so you can get in on all the fun on what should be one of the biggest games of the year. You decide. You can see all the action for yourself at FanDuel, and you can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today and get started with $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Make this playoff season unforgettable with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. It is the Locked On Rockies podcast. We are free and streaming on your favorite streaming services. Shout out to all our everydayers out there. Thanking you for making us your first listen of the day. For your second listen of the day, go support our guy Sully on Locked On MLB. He's keeping you updated on all things Major League Baseball. So, been talking about, again, Purple Row. Go over and really suggest that you read the piece. Are the Rockies actually a draft and develop team, by Evan Lang? That's over on Purple Row here. And again, here's what I just want to say. I just want to read a couple of the quotes that they got from Dick Mumford here too, as I get into why I think that this year is a big prove-it year for the Rockies. A lot of things can happen, Schmidt said. At the end of the day, we have to win games. But at the end of the day, we are a scout, draft, and development organization. That's who we're going to be. That's not going to change. Do we need better players and add things to the club? Sure. There are a lot of different ways to do that. Oh! Why do I get mad when I hear that? Oh, there's a lot of different ways to do this. Oh, there's a lot of different ways to do that. Oh, there's a lot of different. What are they? And again, you're just sitting at draft and development, right? Okay, so when you're presented with this data, when you're presented with the fact that the Rockies are very far behind in terms of development, how do you adjust? What are you going to do as an organization to change? What differences are you going, or what changes will you make to create a difference? That's the thing. The Rockies aren't in a rush to change. Manager, back-to-back 100-loss seasons, bring him back in. Bring him back in. Worst 2 seasons statistically in Rockies history. We got the right guy. Can't get involved in any of these big free agents. Can't make trades at the deadline to add on to a playoff caliber team and in a playoff window. Can't do that. Whoa, JT Real Muto. Can't do that. You get Ian Desmond. And I feel bad. I pick on Ian Desmond a lot. I know he's a good guy, but it just goes to show. It's like, where are all these ideas? The ideas are only the ones approved by Dick Mumford. If you do not follow the Dick Mumford rule, if you do not follow the path of Dick Mumford, if you do not go with the flow of Dick Mumford, you will not succeed in this organization. And succeed in the organization is a lot different than succeeding on the baseball field. Because you can succeed within the organization while the team is not successful. What differences, what changes would the Rockies even make if they even considered this data seriously? Because when you look at that, when you see the numbers of how far behind they are in their own self-admitted identity, then you see the dysfunction. You see the lack of an actual clear idea, a lack of a clear plan. Your whole plan is just to say, all right, we drafted them, and now they're just poof. Major leaguers. Quality major leaguers. That's not how it works. But remember, Dick Mumford has told us he's got the people, he's got the ideas, all those outside ideas, all those outside perspectives, they ain't gonna work. What they're doing now is working. And this is what gets me the most upset about hearing from them. And I know these quotes aren't like recent. I'm pulling quotes from before. So that's an important context. But again, they treat us like we're not watching. Like they treat the Rockies fan as if they're not paying attention. But the Rockies fans that are paying attention are burnt out, exhausted, and annoyed of 6 years of falling on your face. What big development has happened over the 6 years? What big drafting thing outside of 2 players by WAR and 3 if you count Ezekiel Tovar in a different thing? We'll get to that in a second. But why am I supposed to sit? Where is the rest of the development? Because the Astros have 110 WAR, Cardinals 92, Guardians 83, Orioles 76. These are the Astros have produced players that have 100 more WAR than Rockies players. That's bad. Rays at 74, Diamondbacks 72.8, Braves 60. The list goes on and on and on, and it doesn't even get pretty because even when you get to the worst teams, they're still sitting in the 20s, doubling what the Rockies have. It's so important I had to bring it up again. So again, I implore you, Rockies organization, be honest with us. Speak speak up more. I want to hear more from the organization. And I know you can fire off emails to old Dick and get a response. He's good at emailing you back. He loves emailing the fans. But stop feeding me a crock of crap about all this stuff that you say you are, but the product on the field goes completely against it. The last 5+ years go completely against, decade goes completely against what you're talking about and what you say you are. Can the Rockies develop players? Yes, they've developed shortstops very well. But that is about as far as I'm willing to go. Ryan McMahon has yet to break out and break into a consistent full-year season player. The Rockies have had a revolving door at first base since Todd Helton. The Rockies have some success in the pitching department. Again, Kyle Freeland's career, German Marquez's career, those are solid numbers. But what about the rest of them? What about everybody else? And I'm supposed to just sit here and fully buy in? Chase Dollander's a done deal. I'm supposed to just buy into all. I mean, there are a lot of interesting and intriguing college players that the Rockies have drafted recently. But I'm not sitting here being abundantly confident that these players might be good. But I'm not sitting here being abundantly confident that the Colorado Rockies are going to develop them into studs. Because history has proven to us, shown us over the last decade that they haven't done that. There are a couple of exceptions to the rule, but the majority of the Rockies players drafted are at 1 or below 1 WAR or in the negatives. Again, so let's just finish it up with some stats here from Purple Row, and just as they put a bow on it from Evan Lang. Just I think this kind of just emphasizes what I'm talking about. Of the 295 individual players selected by the Rockies in the first-year player draft from 2015 to 2024, only 36 have made their MLB debut. Of that group, only 30 have done so for the Rockies. Those 30 players have an approximate combined FWAR of just 9.5, with just 6 players owning a career WAR of 1.0 or greater while playing with the Rockies. And we already mentioned it. It's Rogers, Lawrence, Hilliard, Feltner, and Doyle. No player from the Rockies' 16 or 17 draft has accounted for 1.0 or greater wins above replacement in their big league career thus far. And the data also shows a near catastrophic rate of misfires on top draft picks. In the 2015 to 2024 range, the Rockies have had just 2 picks from the top 5 rounds that have accumulated 1.0 more wins above replacement in Brendan Rodgers, who's no longer with the team, and Brenton Doyle. I mean, boom. That is, if you're a Rockies exec and that should be placed right in front of you. If you're in the scouting, the drafting, and everything, I want answers on that, because that's a failure. That's a failure to develop players. It's a failure to keep up with people. To only have that low of numbers and have that low of numbers of actual contributors is ridiculous. And the closing thought here, one of the closing thoughts from this article, at least they have the international draft in their vaunted Latin American player development program, right? This is from Purple Row. The Rockies' only international free agent from 2015 to 2024 thus far to accumulate even positive WAR in their, and this is FanGraphs WAR, by the way, is what they use here, for their MLB careers is Venezuelan shortstop Ezequiel Tovar of the 2017 class. The Rockies rank extremely low when it comes to identifying talent. Shocker by Baseball America. So again, where are the numbers? Where are the results? Where are the things that make you actually fully confident that this team is a draft and development team? And will this team ever actually acknowledge that? They won't. They will feed. They will tell you it's all fine. They will tell you it's all going according to plan, and we're gonna have the same old song and dance going through next season. All right, quick Sasaki update here, and we're gonna close out the show. Coming up next on today's episode of Locked On Rockies. Welcome back into Locked On Rockies. Paul Holden here, bringing you your daily Colorado Rockies talk. Shout outs to all our everydayers there hanging out on the Locked On Rockies YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support over there. The best way to help the show, subscribing on YouTube, checking out the videos there, leaving your comments in the Locked On Rockies YouTube comment section. All right, so apparently Sasaki is now down to his final 3 teams, the Dodgers, Padres, and Jays. But we got an inside scoop here from one of the Locked On everydayers. From New Breed Drywall and Paint. OMG, take this how you want, but my aunt is a realtor. She sells very high-end homes. His agent met with her yesterday and starting to look for houses in Colorado, saying he definitely will be purchasing a home here. She acted dumb, like she had no clue who he was. He stated the house would be for one of his new clients. She almost started to scream when she was handed Sasaki's ID to start the paperwork. Y'all can call me a liar all you want. Y'all will see. And when he signs, I want a personal apology from all of you who are about to call BS. Well, listen, New Breed Drywall and Paint, I hope you're correct. I'm not going to, you know what? I'm not jumping on it. On the off chance that it actually is happening, great. I love an inside scoop here. But again, international free agent signing. The Rockies got money. The Rockies got an opportunity, low market. They could get in on that Sasaki deal. It's like, again, it's not that crazy. If you look at some of the things, I mean, Thomas Harding even mentioning Sasaki in one of his recent newsletters about a move that the Rockies, it was more of like the Rockies could make, but not like could as in like, oh, there's smoke here. It's like they could do it. He is there. But again, Dodgers, Padres, and Blue Jays are just trying to spend money on anybody and be connected to everybody. So I'm not as worried about them. But what do the Dodgers and the Padres have in common? Oh, that's right. NL West opponents doing more to get better. And the Padres have had a quiet offseason. I know that. But, interesting. The NL West keeps getting better while the Rockies sit around, scrape the bottom of the barrel, and say, that's all we can do. Nah, we're drafting. We're developing. Don't worry. Hang in there. It's all going to be according to plan. My doubts remain high. I wish I could buy into this. And hey, if Sasaki really is buying a house in Colorado and he's coming, hey, we're all in it, and we will all. You got the inside scoop of the century there. Well, the Rockies scoop of the century there. New Breed Drywall and Paint. So hopefully it all works out for you there, and it works out for us. And Sasaki does come to Colorado, but again, I just. My confidence in the behind the scenes stuff, my confidence in front office of the Rockies, it's at one of its lowest points of my entire Rockies fandom. This year they have to show us something. They have to show us something as an organization of why they're sticking with certain things, making the decisions they're going with, and just claiming that they're developing talent. I need to see that talent not only develop and perform, but I need to see him even get playing time. But don't worry. Chris Bryant's going to play right field for the Colorado Rockies. It'll be all good. All right, folks, that's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Rockies. Thank you so much for checking us out, making us your first listen of the day. We'll be back in action tomorrow with more Locked On Rockies right here on the Locked On Rockies YouTube channel and your favorite streaming services. For your second listen of the day, go check out Locked On MLB with our guy Sully. And if you need more Colorado sports coverage, Locked On Broncos, Locked On Avalanche, Locked On Nuggets, and Locked On Buffs, free and streaming on your favorite streaming services. Until next time, this is Paul Holden saying so long from the Locked On Rockies podcast.